A very good evening. Just wait for 5 minutes more to start the session for more participants. Just 5 minutes more to wait. So basically, in the last session, I taught you the basics of the cost accounting. That what is the cost accounting, how you distinguish between the cost and financial or the cost and management accounting, what are the requirements, immediate requirements for cost accounting system, and what are the various costs involved in a particular accounting standards, accounting system. So in the last session, these are the particular topics which has been discussed in detail. But in today's session, we will come move forward to get some important topics to revise in this particular session. That is the material control. What is material control? What are the immediate requirements to control the materials to avoid the wastage and the losses or the overstock? So this is all about in material control. What is the ledgers that we used in maintaining the or controlling the materials? How you distinguish the cost and the material control, and how, like, what are the exactly methods of the material control, what are the inventory system methods that we used to control the materials. Then we talk about here the labor control, the labor turnover ratios in this in today particular sessions in detail we will discuss, because these topics are very important for an IGNOU examination. So just wait to continue with material control in today's session just for 5 minutes more. Right? Then I'll start the session with the material control. In the last session, I have also discussed about the cost sheet, and I have communicated about what is the format of the cost sheet, what are the numericals. That's true. And I will be discuss about the cost sheet at the end of the sessions, a few numerical questions to understand the exact concept or how to prepare the cost sheet, because that cost sheet will take more time. And if the cost sheet will take more time, so rest of the important topics would get delayed. So it is very important to get the maximum topics to consider in this session, and at the end I will consider the practical portion of the cost sheet section, right? So Abdul, have you revised any of the topics which have been discussed in the earlier session? Abdul, are you available?
Yes, sir. I am available.
Okay, so I have you revised the topics which has been taught in the earlier session?
Yeah, I
Okay,
have
great.
revised it. There is we have discussed on costs
So,
and cost accounting.
okay. So just wait for 2 or 3 minutes more for the more participants. If somebody would come in, then I will start the session. Just wait for 2 or 3 minutes more, right?
Okay, sir. No problem.
Okay. All right, I think I would start the session. Right? Let's start with material control. So the topic that we begin from the second session, that is material control. What is material control? So it refers a systematic control over purchasing, issuing, storing, or any consumptions of the material in order to avoid overstocking, or also in order to maintain the regular and timely supply of materials. That's called material control. I repeat once again, material control, it refers a systematic control over the purchasing or issuing, or you can say storing, or any consumption of the materials in order to avoid the overstocking of the materials, and also to maintain the regular and the timely supply of the materials. It's called material control. One of even many authors has been defined what is material control, which has been described on the screen. That material control refers to a management function which is concerned to acquire, store, handle, or use of any type of materials in order to avoid any wastage, any losses, any overstocking, in order to maintain the maximum economy and establish the responsibilities of an individuals for various operations through any physical checking of the materials, any record keeping of the materials, any type of accounting system that will applied to control the materials or to control the overstock of the material, or any losses due to various natural calamities or circumstances, or any other electronic devices to control that materials. That's called material control. So let's talk about the objectives of the material control. The first objective is to enable the uninterrupted production. So the main objective of the material control is to avoid any overstock of productions of the goods, or you can say the materials. So it means to have a smooth and unrestricted productions of the materials without any substantial loss due to or to any special organizations or companies or firms. Second objective is to ensure the requisite quality of the material. It is very important that the quality of material must be up to the standard, or must be in a good quality, so that it will increase the sales of the particular product in the market, so that it wouldn't be suffer any loss of materials. Let's take an example. If the quality of the materials, it's not up to the mark, or it's not good, then it automatically decrease the sales, and ultimately it will loss of the profits for a particular organization or concern. So it is very important to maintain the quality of the materials, to avoid or to have a strict control over supervision of over the purchases, over the store, over the handling of the materials, supply of the materials, and as well as the consumptions of the materials. So that is the second objective of the material control, to ensure the requisite quality of the materials. Second one is to minimize wastage. It is very important that when you consume, when you handle, when you store, when you issue the materials to the of a particular organization, or to a particular organization, so it is very important to avoid or to minimize the wastage due to the dust, due to the, you can say, rust, or any moisture, or any bad and careless handling of the materials, poor packing, and many other reasons. So it is very important to avoid such reasons, so that it will increase the value of the particular product through the use of such materials, by talking about here store, handling. So it is very important to minimize the wastage of raw material. And of course, this can be possible only when you introduce you can say efficient material control systems. That how you control the materials due to such reasons. It would be either through the electronic devices, through the proper equipments and the functions of the machines. The next objective is to fix the responsibility. It's not about the responsibilities of the materials. It's all about the responsibilities that how you can say how you portray the responsibilities of the various individuals through you can say through the any physical checking we can say, and how they store or handling the materials. So it is very important to fix the responsibilities of the individuals or for the responsible persons or the resourceful persons, so that they can connect with the purchase quality, with the storage, and how they handle the materials of a business organizations. Next one is to provide information. It is very important, or you can say, and a prominent objective of the material control is to provide the accurate information regarding the material cost and whatever the inventory or stock available or whenever the needed by the information. So when the management or the organization team will require any information regarding the materials, supply of material handling, so the material control or this material control fulfill that to provide that information to that particular management team or the management. Next one is what are the necessities and importance of the material control, keeping the stock of the raw materials within the limits in the stores so that it will avoid the overstock. Next one is to ensure the proper storage of materials. That's very true that how you maintain the proper preservation and safeties of the material. So educate facilities in terms of equipments, in terms of the resources are or the storage facilities are to be provided so that the particular materials can be stored very well. So when we talk about the proper storing the materials, the quantity of materials is also very important when you issue that materials to the organizations, and accordingly you will store that materials within the organization warehouses. Next one is for knowing proper cost of production. It is very important that it is very important to know what would be the proper cost of production, how you control over the materials, which is always be indispensable. Next one is certain techniques and methods are developed under the system of materials control so that it will automatically ensures the optimum utilization of materials. The next particular importance and necessities when you in order to take any undertake continuous checking, when you checking of materials and on a continuous basis. So the very important for a proper system of materials control cannot be ignored. So it is very important to have a proper control when you are doing any checking of the materials on a continuous basis. The next one is a well managed system of material control is also ensures that whatever the different kind of materials should be available without any delay, so that accordingly they will issue the materials to the concerned team or to the concerned organization. Next one is advantages. So these are the particular 7 points of advantages of the material control. That material control always minimize any wastage in terms of raw materials, in terms of supplies, any kind of activities when we talk about purchases, when we talk about any storage, handling, or use, or or in other words, consumption. Next is also ensures any uninterrupted flow of right quality quantity of materials to the production department. It also reduces the risk of fraud and theft as well, because when you control the materials very properly, so automatically it will minimize the risk of fraud and particular theft. Next is also facilitated how you prepare the various financial statements in respect of the materials or in respect of the raw materials. Next one is how you, in this particular material control system, the valuation of the material is very easy. It also next advantages. It also minimize the amount of capital to buy materials. It also fix the responsibilities of various employers or employees so that they can handle the materials at the maximum level. So these are the particular 7 points of the advantages of the material control. So any doubts in this till yet, Abdul? Till the advantages of the raw material. All right. Okay. So I don't think that there would be any doubt when it comes to the raw materials. Just wait for a while. Just a home calling. Just wait. All right. So let's talk about the essentials of the material control. So the first one is coordination. So when you talk about any effective control of the materials, it requires the effective coordinations among the various departments who take care or handle the materials or may be involved in purchasing, either receiving or inspection, any storage, any production, any sales, accounting departments, so that adequate material are always being available for the continuous production as well as the sales. And at the same time, if any investments arises, they can easily do. Next one is centralized purchasing. It is very important to control the material when have a centralized process in terms of purchasing. So in order to encounter then how to buy and how to avoid the reckless buying of the raw materials, the purchase department or the purchase functioning of with respect to the raw material is to be centralized, right? Third one is proper scheduling of materials requirements, which also ensures that materials, whenever required, it should be at the right time. Next one is classification and the codification of materials. So it is very important that when you store the material, it is to have some codes or to do a coding on that material so that it can be easily identify and have a proper control of the materials without any having an issue of overstock. Next one is receipt of materials. Always, it is very important to check and inspect that materials by receiving the departments so that in order to ensure that there will be a proper correct quantity and the quality of the materials is being ordered by the organization. Next one is usage of forms. So it is very important that standard forms are to be designed and used for purchase request, purchase order, receiving any sort of materials, and when you do a request of any sort of materials, there is a standard forms that a particular organizations has to fill up so that accordingly they will fulfill the requirements of the organization in respect of receiving the materials. And of course the transfer of materials from jobs to stores or other kind of you can say locations. Next one is storage of materials should be entrusted to a qualified storekeeper. It is very important that when you store, it is very important that you should must trust to a qualified storekeeper only so that he or she can able to plan an effective storage and try to avoid the losses due to the obsolescence, pilferage, and the theft. So whenever these particular problems come arises, a qualified bookkeeper should be available to avoid such, you can say, losses. Next one is issue of materials. So definitely always have a good method, whether it would be periodic method, it would be virtual method. So that the particular materials should be issued to avoid the various jobs and process and orders, which should be devised to ensure the right delivery of the right material at the right time, and of course the quantity and quality is always have a smooth flow of that particular production of that materials. Next one is stock taking. So as I told you, there is a system, there is a, you can see a methods of controlling the materials. That is the two methods, it is virtual method and periodic method. So when we talk about the stock taking, the virtual inventory should method should be followed for how to verify your materials, so that it will show up the differences whatever the stock involved in due to such losses like pilferage, theft and wastage. So virtual method is always avoid to closing down the factory. It always helps that the factory should not be closed due to the irregular verifications or the inspections of the particular stock. Next one is levels of stock are to be maintained in the form of reorder level. So whenever you order the materials, so again you have to reorder. So that level, the difference between the time period, that is reorder level. Maximum level, the maximum limit, the minimum limit would be able to ensure that these are the levels that a particular organization has to follow. Why? Because to avoid any over storage, or you can say overstock of the materials. Next one is economic order. Ordering quantity is to be operated for each type of materials. It is very important that ordering quantity, that whatever the order and the ordering the quantities of the raw materials has to be maintained, has to be operated at each type of material, so that whatever the cost involved is, it's better to optimize in a very efficient way. Next one is pricing of issues. So whatever the suitable method of pricing would be applied, the price methods to be followed. For why it would be followed? Because to make a correct, to evaluate the material cost of the jobs, the orders, the processes, and as well as the valuation of the closing stocks. Next one is control of materials during the production process. So whatever, when we talk about the production process of the raw material, it's very important to control it on what limit you will process the materials for the production. Next one is it helps in continued the proper accounting as well as the records are to be maintained to avoid any wastage of such materials during any consumption process. Next one is suitable reporting system helps management, of course. When you make up, when the employers and the managers should make up a suitable reporting system, it will always help to the management of the organization to take an appropriate decisions regarding how to invest and what to invest and which investment should be prefer in materials, or how to avoid any losses on the wastage, and of course on whatever the and why the moving of the stock in a slow process. So that is, and it could be avoided, it could be neglect by having a suitable reporting systems, which will be made up by the professionals, experts within the organizations or the appointed by the organizations. So these are the particular we can say the essentials of the material control. We have a 14 points which has been discussed, and a particular long question which will be asked, that what are the immediate requirements for having a material control. So you can write it's the 10 points, that means 10 marks question. So if you any of you can choose accordingly any of the 10 points out of the 14 points, and you can write down in the IGNOU examinations, or in a multiple objective questions where the options has been mentioned, so accordingly you can take. Now we talk about the virtual inventory system, which is a very important topic in terms of theoretical process. The virtual inventory system is a method where it records the real time transactions, whatever they have received or sold stock through the use of the technology. So through the technology, if any of the sold or any of the receiving of any stock, and if they record such transactions through the use of the technology, which is called the real-time transaction, it's such method or such system we call a virtual inventory system. So it is the most efficient method nowadays in the modern days as well as the past few years back. Then the periodic inventory system. Periodic inventory system is a very traditional method, a very manual accounting systems of recording the issues of materials, whether it's related to purchasing, whether it's related to receiving of materials, whether it's related to any sold of stocks. So that is the periodic. According to the time periods, they will record. So, but through the manual process. But when we talk about the virtual, it's through the use of the technology where the process of recording every sort of the transaction in a very easy way. So, whenever the information required, this technology will provide all the accurate information to the management. So that is also the main reason that why virtual inventory system is the best effective method. So these are the reasons. Next one is, what are the two types of inventory system in especially controlling the material? As I told you, two inventory system is a virtual inventory system and the periodic inventory system. And the main difference of this system is how they will update on a continuous or a irregular basis of the inventory data or stock data, that how the stock has, how much the stock has received, how much the stock has been sold, how much the stock has been stored, how much the stock they have handled into the warehouses, how much the stock they have transferred from one job to another department or to one location to another location of the organization. So these are the particular roles that these particular inventory systems will update or will record each and every sort of the data with respect to the any inventory or the stock, right? I believe I already admit the students, so all right, maybe they left. Anyways, all right. Now we talk about, as I explained, that what are the actual that in material controls, what are the inventory systems, that is there are two types of inventory system, that is the periodic and the virtual inventory system. Next one is, what are the advantages of the virtual inventory control? It is very as I told that virtual inventory system is always be is a method to record the real time transaction, which refers that how much the stock has been received, how much the stock has been sold, but through the use of technologies. That is called the virtual inventory control. Now, what are the advantages? What are the merits of the virtual inventory system? First is, it always quick evaluate the closing stock, because technologies plays a very important role in making up, or you can say in making up or recording the stock data. So in that basis, I can say the one of the advantages, quickly evaluate the closing stock. So whatever the closing stock has been left at the end, it easily evaluate and identify, and it always record immediately in the particular, you can say, preparation. It always being used when when the particular organization prepare the profit and loss account and the balance sheet at the end of the financial period, because closing stock is a asset. So whatever the closing stock has been left in this particular system will easily evaluate. Next one is it particular lesser investment in material. So through this system, it portray the one of the advantage that it requires the minimum investments in the material. Why? Because minimum investment, because through this particular inventory system or inventory method, virtual inventory method, it have a regular check of the materials with respect of receiving and issuing of the materials. The store of the material is also being undertaken. So this process will automatically reduce the wastage and the overstocking or losses. So that, and it always portrayed that a less investment will be needed, or helps to invest less in materials. Next one is it helpful in formulating the proper purchase policy. As I told that a qualified storekeeper have a responsibility to formulate the proper purchase policy when any sort of materials orders would be received by any of the department. It would be the purchase department, it would be the factory departments, it would be the finance department, it would be the sales department, it would be the production department. So at the various levels, or each type of material will be clearly determined through this particular system. And of course, whatever all the necessary information will be useful when you formulate such policies. So when you formulate such policy, you will require all the necessary quantities of the materials which being related, or you can see the required by each department, and accordingly you will prepare such policies. Next one is immediate decisions of theft and you can say leakages. So when we talk through this particular system, it is very important, and it easily control whatever the material wastage, whether it would be leakage, whether it would be wastage, whether the theft of the materials. Why? Because through the use of technology, it avoids such particular losses, and it avoids such particular leakages in the theft, because there is no mean to have a theft when a proper record has been maintained through the use of the technology without any delay, or even particular through the softwares or technology, no discrepancies will be found, and it can be done through or without delay. Next one is adequacy of working capital. Through this system, it is very important to have an effective control over the storage, over the issuing, over the using of materials, and it will avoid such a lacking, and the you can say it will avoid such locking up the capital in stocks. So whatever the investment required in a particular stock, it will log, it will store that investment, and accordingly, whenever the particular time arise or right time arise, they will use such investments. So it is well always being required to, and through this method, it is always being prepared an adequate supply of the working capital. So whatever the money, whatever the funds, whatever the investment required through this system, it can be easily built up or easily be maintained or apply according to the you can say most profitable materials where the investment required, and that can be known through the system only. That is virtual inventory system. Next one is it's beneficial. Next one is it's beneficial in founding, or it's beneficial to find out the efficiencies of the stores organizations. So the organization which have their own stores, so through this method it's beneficial to estimate or to evaluate the efficiencies of such organization. So it plays a very important role. This system, the virtual inventory system, plays a very important role, and it is also a very prominent tool or instrument to ask to find out or to ascertain the efficiencies and the working of the stores in a production organizations, so that a continuous stock, you can say a continuous stock checking will be possible, and we can easily operate the workings of the particular stores. So this is the one of the also an advantage of the virtual inventory system. Now there is a new concept. What is bin card? What is the store ledger? How you differentiate between two of them? Even the multiple choice questions or the subjective questions would be asked on these particular topics. So what is bin card? Bin card is a record receipt which is maintained under the virtual inventory systems, and who maintain that? It is a store department. And what this bin card shows, it shows the quantities of, it shows the only the quantities of the materials received, stored, and the balance which is being left or in hand after each receipt and issue of materials. In other words, it's called the stock card. Stock card means having a record of all the materials which has been uh, received, issued, and whatever the balance will be left, or you can say the closing balance of the materials. That card is called bin card. In other words, we call it as a stock card or a bin tab. The main purpose of this card is to record only the quantities of the material, not the values. Mostly what happens is the students always assumes, oh, the bin card is always have only even the quantities, as the value of the material was also get involved. No. And when you add the value of the materials, automatically the concept of the bin card would be the wrong. So that's why I already told that bin card is only record the quantities of the materials only, not the values of the materials, not the cost of the materials in rupees. Bin card is, in other words, we can say the bin card is a statement of all the receipts and issues of the stock which from the stores department. As I told, it is a stock card, it's a bin card. So it is a responsibility. Who is responsible for that in the store department? The bookkeeper. The bookkeeper is the most efficient, responsible person who do this task, whether issue receiving, issuing, and whatever the balance of stock available in hand. That is a part of the store department, and under the store department, a bookkeeper is a responsible or efficient person to record or maintain such records of the quantities of all the materials, whether received, issue, or whatever the balance in hand. And if any information required by the management or the organization, so the particular store department, under the store department, a bookkeeper is the most responsible person to provide all the information to management and the organization team. And if something is lacking or something in discrepancies is available, then the internal auditing, then the audit department or an auditor will play a major role to have an internal audit, and they will investigate the matter with the management that why this discrepancies has been found in your records. That is the overview of the bin card. Next is store ledger. What is store ledger? The store ledger is a manual as well as the computer record of the raw materials, the production, supplies, whatever the stored in the production facility. It is a maintained by as a responsible person of these assets, where and the responsible person is warehouse manager. If for example, if you go to the restaurant, a restaurant manager is a more responsible person. If you go to the production department, a warehouse manager is a responsible person who answers all your discrepancies or inaccurate data if available. Now we talk about the advantages of the bin card, and this is how the bin card work, where the quantities been recorded. It's whatever the materials have been received, what are the issues of material, what the balance, and accordingly the bookkeeper will be checked and verified by the bookkeeper only. Date, name, and initial, that is signature. The one is how the bin card of an organization, what is the specimen bin card format, the bin card number, the code of the material, that is the material name also, whatever the location is available, store ledger folio, maximum stock level, the maximum limit of the stock, the minimum limit of the stock, how much the reorder limit, and who is the in charge of that recording or keeping the records of the material. That is a name has been mentioned here. So this is a particular format has been recorded, and this format can be made on the Excel sheet, and you can easily take out the printout and accordingly the store in charge will use this format. So this is also the one of the advantage of the bin card. Right, so bin card is maintained for each item of the stock. Storekeeper should be well aware about their position. In each bin card, each and every item will be recorded to avoid the wastage, to avoid any discrepancies, and of course, it will also create the purchase requisition for a fresh supply. As I told you, a proper a standard form has been designed to have a proper purchase request, sales request, how much the materials would be, you can say, issued. That request will be maintained through the standard format. So it is bin card is also a very important inventory control technique, and of course, such specimen or such format will be used for others. You can see methods. So there is no specific format for the bin card because as the organization design their own stock card. Every organization has their own stock card or bin tag. They design according to their own requirements. But this is the basic bin card format where every organization will be followed. So the next one is how you distinguish, how you differentiate the bin card and the store ledger. So these are the particular differences. Bin card is always been record the quantities. Store ledger is not only record the quantity but is also record the particular amount of that particular receiving or issuing of materials. So in rupees. Bank card is maintained by the store in charge or a storekeeper, but store ledger is always being maintained by the costing accounting department of the entity or organization. Bank card is always being kept inside the organization, but store ledger always being kept outside the store department or in store department of a place where the storekeeper has no access. Next one is bed card. It is updated as and when the receipts and issues are made in the store department. It is maintained when the store department will keep in record on every issue and you can say receipts. Next one is it is updated when the costing department gets the proper documents from the relevant department, normally from the store department. So under the store ledger, when a particular costing department once will get all the records in the from the store department, then they will maintain the records. But in bank card, it is updated when the store department has maintained the receipts and issues of materials. Bank card transactions are updated individually because at every point of time, storekeepers need to be aware the actual positions of the stock. So in bank card, a storekeeper need to aware about the actual position, and accordingly, they will the transaction will be updated accordingly. But when we talk about the store ledger, it is normally updated after a certain period of time, and one entry is posted for the similar items only. So in the under store ledger, similar items will be updated first and accordingly it will get updated. But Ben card, the transactions, the particular storekeeper need to aware about the actual position of the stock and accordingly the transactions will be updated. So these are the main differences of the bin card and the store ledger, right? So any doubts in this till yet? Okay, give me a 1 minute. I'm just coming from the washroom. Just wait. All right, so let's continue. This is a major main difference between the bin card and the store card, which you can look up on the screen. All right, so let's proceed further. That is, this is one of the most important topic. That is the what is ABC analysis. Now, ABC analysis. We'll discuss about the full form. What is ABC? ABC stands for always better control analysis. It classified into three main categories, that is A items, B items, and C items. So when we this technique is mainly used to manage the materials. For managing the materials, or in case of material management, this analysis will be utilized. Or you can say, in other words, ABC analysis technique will be applied to classify or to distinguish the items into a categories, that is A, B, and C. Why it classified such analysis? Why it is important to classify these items? Because the name stands for always better controls, and it can be, and this such technique will be applied on those items which has been classified or categorized into three terms, that is A items, B items, and C item. So A items, what is A, B, C? A items is always stands for high type control and accurate records. B items is always stands for less tightly controlled and good records. C, it's just a simplest or a simple control possible and a minimum records. So that means C is a lowest category, B is a medium category, and the A is a good listed category of the items of material. So when we talk about meaning, what is the definition of the ABC analysis, which are all been there for selecting the best inventory control, at how you control your materials, how you control the particular, you can see the materials. It always there is a technique which namely is ABC analysis. A particular department will have to classify these items, and accordingly, if such particular you can see call it first particular, you can say, feature comes in that particular item, it always stands for A, B, or C items. So when we talk about ABC, it is called as ABC classification. The alphabets ABC stands for three different classes, and always better techniques. So whenever the items come up in from the departments or any order by the organization, so definitely the particular technique or classifications will be on process, and accordingly the better items of the classification or the classes of the material will be named for. So ABC analysis is also one of the basic analytical tool, because it allows the practical applicabilities of such you can say items, you can say material items. So the one of the you can say main advantage of such analysis is to get the maximum or the efficient results, so that it easily verify or easily analyzes the materials according to their classification. But when we talk about what are the areas and how you classify this particular items on what basis, so that is the inventory, criticality of items, obsolete stock, purchasing order, receipts of material, inspection, storekeeping, and verification of the bills. So once you how you analyze the items, these are the particular parameters, and this if this parameters meet up, then this technique will also equally helpful to analyze and of course to maintain the quality and of the particular items. Next one is, this is also the very important point, how you classify these A3 items A, B, C into the mathematically percentage. What type of materials or what percentage portions will be involved in such items? So in the annual consumption analysis, on the basis of their money value, that how much the money has been received, how much the sales has been done. So it depends. So when we talk about the high level items, the 10% of the high level items will be accounted. right? So, for a substantial portion, about 75% of the total consumption value. So, there are three bases: A basis, B basis, and C basis. These are the A basis, 70% of the total items are trivial. These are the bottom items accounted for the 10% of the consumption value and termed as C items, which in between A and C, the top and bottom, the item we call the B categories item. So there are three, there is a single line that is A, B, and C. So between the A and C, the B item will be on the middle, and what it says that A items will be covered 70%, B item will be covered, you can say 20%, and then the last item we got about the 10%. So this is the classification has been made, that A for the 70%, B for the 20%, and the C would be the 10% of the overall consumption value of the items. Next one is objectives of the ABC analysis. So these are the particular objectives. So what the main point is, what is the main objective of the ABC analysis? So the ABC analysis, the main objective of the ABC analysis is to secure the economy through efficient material management, because it is a tool, it is an analysis tool that on which parameters you will evaluate or you will classify such items. So it always helps, such analysis tool always helps the management and how to discriminate the items, how to concentrate the most important items first, and then comes to the bottom, and then comes to the low, that is C listed category, that is third grade. So it always helps the organization to focus on the A listed items, then B listed, and then the lower grade, that is C listed items. So the it always helps for to the management and how to focus on the A listed items. So, of course, the major attention is required on the graded material, that how much grade has been given by the organization, A for 70%, B for 20%, and C for the 10%. Weightage, these are the weightages, the mathematical percentages has been prescribed and formatted according to the ABC analysis, and such 70%, 20, 10% is a total is being calculated on the total value of the consumption. So it is a very rigorous process. Why? Because the always A listed always ensure the better material planning, forecasting, ordering, review, record, posting, revision, lead time analysis, safety stock, and of course follow up delivery schedules, inspection, store accounting, any verification required, which has been given by the Krishnan and Sudarshanan. The objective of this to control the efficiencies, the overall efficiencies in the management, and that can be secured, that can be maintained by using the ABC analysis tool. Now we always talk about if one item always have positive and negative records, so definitely the ABC analysis tool will always have in it some advantages and disadvantages as well. So these are the three main disadvantages of ABC analysis. ABC analysis always have some limitations, that it will not fully effective when it comes to the standardization and codification. So it is very important when we have any qualification and the codification at how to code to the materials when it comes to the warehouses and it comes to within the stores, and the standards, that how the standardizations of the materials will be maintained. So through this analysis it cannot be done. It's not effective without, because standardization codification will not be applied in the ABC analysis tool because it's named the analysis. And of course, it is very important that ABC analysis is based on grading the items, and it being, you can say, applied through the main criteria, and the main criteria is WIT. VET. V for vital, E for essential, D for desirable. That which items are desirable, which items are essential, which item is play a victor or significant role in the particular organization. But ABC analysis is based on this, and but it's not effective until it not records the standardization and codification. It's not effective at all. Next disadvantage is, even the some items with a very less monetary value may be vital for the plant and may need special attention. But ABC analysis will not analyze such, because ABC analysis always analyze the items based on their following up criteria, and according to that it will analyze such items, and accordingly that ABC analysis, it always needs a potential review and updating manner or process when it comes to materials. So this is also the one of the disadvantage when it comes to the this particular some items with the monetary value, not for all items. It's just for the some items which is not being classified. For example, rice, for example, wheat, it cannot be you can say classified because it's always have a less monetary value, and of course needs or portray a special attention on such items where ABC analysis will not be applied, but in fact it needs potential or a special periodical review and updating process. Next one is, some very common may become vital when, as we found in case of a diesel oil during power crisis. Sometimes there would be a crisis, economic crisis, political crisis as well when we talk, and it always portrayed, it always harm the prices of the diesels and the petrol, and such analysis will not be covered up. Such items, in fact, will not be classified because it depends upon the crisis and depends how much the rate would get an increase or decrease according to the crisis, which the ABC analysis will not be applied for. So the limitations is always been exist when it comes to the following crisis or the situations. So it depends, and such tech analysis will always have some you can see concerns which will in favor and against the bill. So these are the various points that, in terms of simple points, which has been portrayed on the screen. Advantage of the ability analysis: it is a structured views. It allows the companies to control items. Just read these points, Abdul. It's very simple. Just read up these points so that you can look up. That it allows the company to control items. It lowers focus on less essential items, and of course, it also saves the unnecessary staff and storage expenses as well. It also helps to keep a track of the inventories and ensures the optimum stock of all the materials. It also helpful in improving the stock turnover ratio, at how much the stock in and out. It will always have a systematic records of such stock. So the company can also able to maintain the C categories of the product without compromising the other relevant items, and this can be done through the ABC analysis technique or tool. right? So this technique is also helpful when you count your cycle, when you count with cycle counting systems. For example, it also helps the manager to decide the items to count once a quarter, or every month, or 6 months, or once a year, and so on. So this method is always built up. It always work with the cycle counting systems as well, that how much the time period would be required to consider, and this analysis tool will also help in that. Now we talk about the levels of inventory, that it's levels of the one of the inventories which has been defined through mathematical formulas as well as the meaning, the minimum level, the maximum level, and the reorder level, which I believe it has been mentioned in the previous slides as well. So the types of the stock level of inventory, the first one is minimum level. Minimum level refers the minimum quantity of the stock which has been always been maintained within the business organization. It is also called the safety level. It is also called the precautionary level of stock, because this quantity is always being maintained, and it also a functioning process of the organization. So if this stock level is below the minimum level, then the organization will have to stop working. Is just because of the storage of materials. So, how to calculate mathematically the minimum level of inventory? Maximum usage into maximum lead time minus average usage into average lead time. There is another formula of minimum level of inventory, reorder level minus average usage into average lead time. But before I come, its reorder level has to be estimated, and reorder level is also being estimated by another few formulas. So maximum usage of material and the maximum how much the maximum lead time has been taken minus what is the average usage of that material into average lead time. So this is the maximum level. Before that you have learned what is the minimum level. So now we learn the max. What is the maximum level? The maximum level of stock refers to the maximum quantity of inventory a firm can hold and cannot exceed this level. So maximum level of stock is a maximum quantity of the inventory the firm can able to hold, and it cannot exceed this level. If the maximum level is 75%, then the maximum should be 75% only. It cannot go beyond that 75%. And and of course, if they go beyond the 75%, the organization cannot hold up that percentage of material which goes beyond the 75%. So that level of stock is called the maximum level. So any quantity of stock beyond this level, which could be termed as I told, if it is go beyond the 75%, let's take an example, then it's called an overstock. So it always requires the high material cost. So the maximum level is decided. How the maximum level be decided? Following up the various factors like how it's the availability of the capital and storage facilities, what is the rate of the consumption material, availability of the materials, how much the fluctuations will be goes on in the material prices, is there any possibilities of the fashion change or not. So these are the particular factors which is required to follow up, and accordingly the management maximum level will be decided. But if while after understanding the concept of the maximum level, it is also equally important to view the mathematical formula of the maximum level, that how to calculate the maximum level. Maximum level of inventory is equal to reordering level plus reordering capacity, that how much the limit of order to reorder, and what is the reorder quantity, the quantity which is already being placed, and now you are putting up a quantity for an order, that is reorder quantity minus what is the minimum consumption and the minimum reorder period. So this is the exact formula of the minimum level of inventory. There are also another level, that is average stock level. So average stock level and is refers to the average quantity of the stock which being decided or which being held by the company for a given period of time. So it offers a balanced situation where there would be there no loss, no profits. So it accordingly will calculate and maintained by many firms. An average stock level is that level which go above the minimum level and below the maximum level. Right? So this is called the average stock level. So average stock level is a level that is above the minimum level and below the maximum level. So if the minimum level is 40 and the maximum level is 75, so the average stock level is between the 40 and 75, right? So what is the formula? Mathematical formula of the average stock level is a minimum stock level plus half of reorder quantity. Reorder quantity and the minimum stock level will be given in the particular question. So accordingly, you have to use this formula to calculate the average stock level. Now we come up here, the next level is a danger level. Danger stock level is one where the issue of material is temporarily closed. If everything is closed, is a danger level. So it is a alarm situation for the organization and it cannot be neglected. So if the stock level approaches danger level, which is below the minimum level, that is the max management should take an immediate actions to acquire or to receive the accurate materials in less time. So if it is happen, then the danger level would get exist in an organization. How to calculate the danger level of stock? Average consumption into maximum reorder period for emergency purchases. So this is, if you multiply these two terms, you will get the danger level of inventory. What is the average consumption of material and what is the maximum reorder period for emergency purchases, which has already been mentioned in a particular question. The next one is reorder level. As you can see, the maximum and minimum level reorder level has been mentioned there. So this is all about. Reordering level is a point of which the company should start. This is the level where a company could start a new manufacturing run up or place a new order with the supplier to procure or to receive the materials. So, in simple words, it is a level at which the purchase order is placed. It is a level which is fixed between the minimum and the maximum level of inventory. If the minimum level is 40 and the maximum level is 75, so it is reorder level is between the both minimum and the maximum. That is the reorder level. So there is a formula that how to calculate the reorder level or a ordering level, we can say. The maximum rate of consumption. What is the maximum rate of consumption of material? What is the maximum reorder period? It would be 12 weeks, it would be 14 weeks, it would be 20 weeks. So accordingly, you just multiply these two terms, you will get the reorder level or ordering level. The next one, the most important topic in under this main topic, that is economic order quantity. You can, even the practical question will definitely be asked of 5 marks, or multiple choice question would carries 4 marks or 3 marks or 2 marks, and accordingly the theoretical question is also important. So next, what is economic order quantity? Economic order quantity is, we can say, as an idle order quantity, where a company should purchase the, you can say, minimum, should purchase to minimize the inventory cost, which is called the holding cost, storage cost, order cost. So, who has developed this concept? It is developed by Ford W in 1913. Phone W. Harris, and has been refined, and this is a formula which has been given, and how to calculate the economic order quantity. It is an idle quantity where the always a company would like to purchase such idle quantity. Why? To minimize the inventory, to minimize the three types of cost, that is holding cost, storage cost, and the order cost. So, who has developed this particular tool, this concept? That is the Ford W. Harris in 1931, and it always been changed according to the time. So, economic order quantity is equal to square root of 2AO. A is the annual consumption in units. O is the ordering and receiving cost per order, and C is the cost of carrying inventory per unit per annum. So this is a particular formula, square root of 2AO divided by C, and C is the cost is the cost of carrying inventory per order per annum. O is the ordering and receiving cost per order. A is the annual consumption in units. These are the methods of pricing material usage, which are, these are the following methods which has been described, and the first six methods are important for practical aspects. Methods of pricing material issues, that what are the methods that when you issue a material, how much the pricing policies would be applied. Through these methods the pricing policy would be decided. The first one is actual cost method. Second one is FIFO method, first in first out. The material should be first issue, and then it will sold out. Last in first out. So whatever the last balance has been let, just sold out or just issue firstly. That is LIFO method, last in first out. Highest in first out, which the units which is being highest, just issue the first. So highest in first out, that is HIFO method, simple average cost method, weighted average cost method, periodic average cost method, standard cost method, replacement cost method, and the next in first out NIFO method. So the in your syllabus, the first six cost practicals are very important. So let's have numericals now. Stock levels, you have to calculate the maximum level and the minimum level and the reorder level. This is the questions given to you in the numerical way. Small question will be asked in the multiple choice question. So the minimum consumption is 240 units per day. Normal consumption is a 300 units per day. Maximum consumption is a 420 units per day. Reorder quantity is a 36 units. And reorder period is 10 to 15 days. And normal order period is 12 days. So let's begin the numerical part. So this is a particular question. Reorder level formula, which has been also the same formula has been mentioned in the previous slides, and again the same formula has been used in calculating these three levels. Reorder level formula is maximum consumption into maximum reorder period. So let's focus on the question maximum consumption. This is a maximum consumption, right? And the next is maximum reorder period. Maximum reorder period, that is reorder period is 10 to 15 days. So but the point is that reorder period is 10 to 15 days. We cannot take 10, we cannot take the difference between 10 to 15, and we need the highest maximum reorder period. So there are two periods, 10 days, 15 days. So maximum period is 15 days because it is more than the 10 days, right? The minimum reorder period is 10 days, maximum reorder period is 15 days. So the maximum consumption is 420 and the maximum reorder period is 15 days. So just multiply the two of the units, 420 units, maximum consumption is 420 units. So 420 into 15, you will get the reorder level. Why the reorder level has been estimated? The reason behind it, the minimum, to calculate the minimum level and the maximum level, the valuation, the value of the re-level, you can say the value of the reorder level is required, which is 6,300 units. Next, to calculate the minimum level. What is the formula of the minimum level? You need to aware about it. You need to learn about it, that how to calculate. This is the formula. Reorder minimum level, that is reorder level minus normal consumption into normal reorder period. Reorder P level is already being calculated 6,300. Now we have to check on in the question, now what is the normal consumption and what is the normal reorder period. So let's have a question. Normal consumption, this is a normal consumption, and reorder period, that which is a normal reorder period. Normal reorder period, that is 12 days. Right, so let's talk. Three normal consumption is 300 units. The normal consumption is 300 units, and the normal order period or reorder periods is it's almost the same. Whatever the information has been given, we have to follow up that. That is 12 days. So 600 units minus 300 into 12, you will get 300 into 12, 3600. Once you minus from 1600, you will get 2700 units. So let's talk about the maximum level, how to calculate the maximum level. Maximum level is equal to reorder level, which has already been estimated, reorder quantity, which definitely will be given in the question, minus minimum consumption and the minimum reorder period. Minimum reorder period is it's 10 to 15 days. Reorder period is given 10 to 15 days. So it means 10 is a minimum reorder period and 15 is a maximum reorder period. So minimum reorder period is at 10 days, right? So reorder level is already being given, reorder quantity which is already being estimated, right, minus. So if we talk about the normal, for how to calculate the reorder quantity, it is calculated through the normal consumption into normal reorder period. So when you multiply, it's 300 into 12 is 3600. This is a formula of reorder quantity. So once you multiply 300 into 12, 3600 is a reorder quantity, right? Or in other words, we can see the reorder quantity is also being given 3600. So either you use the formula, or if the information is not mentioned in the question, reorder quantity, that means you can use the formula which is already available, normal consumption and normal reorder period. If the value, reorder quantity value, it's not given in the question, if it is given in the question, no need to find out any formula or no need to apply any formula. So it is given already, reorder quantity is 3600. So reorder level is 63 units. Reorder quantity is given in the question 36 units minus minimum consumption. Minimum consumption is 240. So it's already given 240 units, and the minimum reorder period is 10 days. This is a 10 days minimum. So we apply the same thing, 10 days into it. It will 2700. Just add these two. You will get 9900. Subtract 240 into 10, 2400. You will get the maximum level, that is 7500 units. So minimum level is 27 units, maximum level is 7500 units. Any doubts, Abdul, till here?
Sir, there is no any doubt.
Okay, great. Now, again, there is another question which has been given. Minimum consumption 60 units, normal consumption 100 units, maximum consumption 130 units, reorder quantity 5000 units, reorder period is 25 to 30 days, right? You have to calculate the maximum level, minimum level, reorder level. So before in calculating the maximum and minimum level, reorder level is required. So before you calculate the maximum minimum, you need to calculate firstly reorder level. So reorder level, then minimum level, then normal reorder period, then maximum, because normal reorder period is not being given in the question. So accordingly you will estimate, right? This is not given in the question. Normal reorder period, it's 25 and 30 days has been given reorder period, but we need to calculate the normal reorder period. So 25 plus 30 days divided by 2. This is a formula which has been given. So what is the formula which has been given? Normal reorder period 25 to its normal, its minimum reorder period, and the maximum reorder period by 2. You will get the normal reorder quantity. 25 days is a minimum reorder period. Maximum reorder period is 35 days by 2. So when you divide by 2, you will get the reorder periods. Right? So this is all about. So once you get non-reorder level, you already estimated normal consumption given in the question. Normal, if it is written the reorder period or minimum reorder period, then perfectly fine, but it's written normal. So when you calculate anything reorder period normally, then you have to use the both reorder period minimum as well as the maximum, but you have to divide the maximum reorder period by 2. So there is a difference in the calculating the values in the first question, and this is the second question. Now this is same, that is maximum reorder periods. So reorder quantity, minimum consumption, minimum reorder periods already given in the question, so you can use it accordingly. The next question is, this is also everything is same. The danger level is also given. So let's begin danger level. Danger level, what is the formula? Minimum consumption and the emergency delivery period. So minimum consumption is already given 100, and the time of the emergency supply is given in the question, that is 3 days. So 100 into 3, you will get the 300 kgs. Rest is remains the same, but is based on the formula only. So information is already given to you, all the information. See, the normal order period is given in the question. If it is not given in the question, I already told you how to calculate the normality period using the, it's based on this. You need to calculate based on this reorder quantity, 10 plus 15 by 2. You will get the normal order period if it is not given to you in the question. Then again, this is a question again, two components A and B, normal usage, minimum usage, maximum usage, reorder quantity, reorder period. And you need to calculate the minimum level, maximum level, reorder level, average stock level. So let's begin average stock level because your else formula remains the same. There's no changes. So average stock level is maximum level into half of reorder quantity, right? So 200 units, half of reorder, which is already been given to you. Reorder quantity for A, 300, reorder quantity for B, 500. So let's begin with maximum level. What is the maximum level of A and B? 650, 750, right? Maximum level. But it has not been taken with a maximum level. You can take 650 as well as the 750, half of the 300 units and 500 units. So the maximum level, it's being taken here 200 or 150. Let's check. Maximum usage is 75, minimum usage is 25, normal usage is 55. 300, 500 reorder, and that is reorder period. 200 and 150 minimum level. Let me check the formula. It's not minimum, it's maximum. Just hold, let me check this. So, maximum average stock we need to calculate minimum stock level. That's why some mistake is going on. Okay. All right. ये हो गया. This is all being done. So this is an average stock level. So this is an average stock level, the maximum level. It's not maximum, it's minimum level. The formula is minimum level of stock plus half of reorder quantity. So the minimum is 200 units. The minimum is 200 units and the maximum for A unit for A product and for B it's 150 units. So 200 into half of 300 units, 150 units, half of 500 units, you will get the average stock level. For A it's 350 units, for B it's 400 units. So these are the assignments or questions which has been portrayed and shown in the slides. So you can take a screenshot of this question. You can take a screenshot of this question and you can do at your home and use the formulas which has been taught in the previous slides, and accordingly you can apply and calculate these levels, that is maximum level, minimum level, reorder level, and average stock level. So what happens in the IGNOU examinations is a multiple choice question. You will be asked for the 5 marks question calculation, for the 4 marks calculation, for the 6 marks calculation by giving up this question, a small question. Just use the formula and calculate the values or levels based on the values which has been mentioned in the question. Now we come up to the next question, that is economic order quantity. How to calculate the economic order quantity? This is a formula which has been given in the previous slides and the same formula has been given in the solution of the question. That is economic order quantity is equal to the square root of 2 AO by C. A stands for annual consumption. Annual requirements means annual consumption, which is already be given to you 3600 kg. Cost of placing and receiving one order, that is per order, that is one order, that is 10, which is already given you the cost of placing an order, that is 10. Annual carrying and storage cost, as I told you in the economic order quantity, three costs is the holding, storage, and the carrying cost. So carrying and storage cost and per annum cost is 20 unit per unit, 20 rupees per unit. So the carrying cost per unit is 20. So all the information has been given in the question. So just put that values into the formula and accordingly you can estimate the economic order quantity. So the square root, it's 2 into 3600 into 10 divide by C or by C, that is 20. So you will get the 60 kg, that is economic order quantity is 60 kg. There is a next question, that is how to calculate the economic order quantity. So these are the information. Consumption during the year. It means annual consumption is given here, 600 unit. Ordering cost is already given in the question, that is O, 12. C is a carrying cost. Carrying and price holding, price per unit has been given. So carrying cost is 20%. So it means 20% carrying cost. It means the 20% of the price per unit, that is the cost of carrying cost. That how you carry the value, the cost of the materials, the price of the materials per units, and the price of the material per unit is given in the is 20, and the carrying cost can be given 20, 30, but it's not being mentioned here. It's mentioned as 20%. So automatically it being well understood and common that 20% of the cost of the raw material. And what is the cost of the value or cost of the price of the raw material is 20 rupees. So 20% of 20, you will get the carrying cost per unit, because we need to estimate the carrying cost per unit. And the carrying cost per unit will be calculated 20% of the price per unit, because the price per unit has been given in the question. So that you can easily calculate the carrying cost per unit, that is rupees 4. So once you will get all the information, your formula is already ready. Just put these values into the formula, you will get your answer. So A is 2 is into A 600 units, O is ordering cost into 12 divided by C, that is carrying cost per unit, is 4. So 60 units is the economic order quantity. Any doubt in this, Abdul? आगे बढ़े? We can
Sir,
proceed.
there is no doubt.
All right. So the next problem is how is to calculate the economic order quantity. So that is the question which has been given on the screen. Monthly demand, it's 200 units. Ordering cost, see, it's given monthly demand. It's not given annual consumption. So it means you need to calculate annually. So in a year, how many months is there? It's 12 months. To calculate the annual consumption, you need to multiply into 12 months. So 2000 units into 12, you will get the annual consumption, that is 4800 units. But where there is a question over here, it's 2400 units. But now more information has been given in the question. So let's read first before you estimate the annual consumption. Monthly demand is 2000 units. We need annual consumption. So just check on. Ordering cost rupees 180. So ordering cost is already given 180. Annual carrying cost is 12%, but we need carrying cost per unit. But in the question is already given the information how to calculate the per unit carrying cost. Price per unit is 25 rupees 25 per kg. So how to calculate the annual carrying cost per unit? That means 12% of 25 rupees per kg. You will get the annual carrying cost per unit. PU is per unit. Ordering cost estimated, carrying cost per unit estimated. Now, let's look up the more information. Raw material required per unit of finished product is 2 kg. It means if you are calculating the annual consumption, so annual consumption of what? It is for the quantity of the raw material. It's written here, raw material required per unit of finished product is 2. So it's already given the particular cost of material, that is 2 rupees in kg. So how to calculate the annual consumption when the more information has been given, right? So 2000 into 2 kg. Why it's 2 kg? Because the quantity has been given here, not the price per unit in calculating the annual consumption. So additional information is raw material required per unit of finished goods. Finished product is 2 kg. So how to calculate the annual consumption of raw material? It's given in the question. 2000 into 2 kg into 12 months, you will get 48,000 units, which is already be given in the question. Why we have taken the 2 kg in calculating the annual consumption? Because we are calculating the annual consumption of raw material, but an additional information related to the raw material is already given, that is 2 kg. So we have to multiply the 2 kg to calculate as whole in annual consumption of raw material, and that is 48,000 units. So all the information has been calculated. Just put the values into the formula. You will get the economic order quantity, that is 2400 units. 2 into annual consumption, that is 48,000. 2 into 48,000 units into 180 divided by 3. That is carrying cost per unit. You will get the economic order quantity, that is 2400 units. Right, so this is also the another consumption, another question of economic order quantity. Consumption is 250 to 750 per week. Ordering cost is 100. Annual carrying cost is 6.5%. Purchase price is per unit, that is rupees 20. And normal consumption is 40 units per week, right? So how many weeks has been mentioned per week? So it has been calculated 52 weeks. That is 400 units, which has already been given into the question, that is normal consumption. Normal consumption is 400 units per week, and you can say 350 to 750 units per week. So when we talk about 250 to 750, the total over weeks is 52 weeks in a year, right? So once you multiply, you will get 20,800 units. Ordering cost is 100. Carrying cost per unit is 6.5 by 100 into 20. That is rupees 1.3. Well, all calculation is remains the same in the previous or earlier questions. So once you get to know how to calculate, the same procedure has been followed in this question as well, and accordingly you can estimate the economic order quantity. So this is the particular answer, that is economic order quantity 1789. So when we talk about the weeks, there are 52 weeks in a year. Right, so this is an assignment question. You can do it at your home. This is a question, how to calculate economic order quantity, annual usage, cost of placing an order, annual carrying cost, and the answer is already being given to you. All right, same for this question. Assignment, you can do it at your home. That is monthly consumption, purchase price unit, monthly carrying cost, ordering cost per order, that is 22.5, 1%, 25, 120. It's monthly consumption, but you need annual consumption. So when you want to monthly consumption, 125 units into 12. Purchase price, monthly carrying cost. So monthly carrying cost is 1% into 25 into 12, because we need to calculate and into annually, because monthly carrying cost, we need annual carrying cost. You need to multiply into 12. So this is a difference of the previous question. So any doubt, Abdul? So we can just have a close view.
Sir, there is no any doubt.
Oh, great. So it means you have understood as whole of the topics as well as the practical questions which has been taught in this particular session. I believe that.
Yes, sir.
All right, so now we talk about another practical sessions, that is questions, that is how to maintain the store ledgers using two methods, that is FIFO and LIFO methods, the most important topics in your syllabus. This is a question which has been misestimated, right? So this is the information. Purchase 200 units to at the rate of rupees 200 on March 4th. Issued 150 units. March 6th purchases 200 units at the rate rupees 220. Then March 10th issued 100 units. March 16 purchases 200 units at the rate of 210. March 18 issued 220 units. March 24 purchases 150 units at the rate 230. Then again in March 25 issued 190 units, and again March 28 issued 30 units. So this is a question of, and this is the solution. It's a very simple method to use, and a very simple calculations will be used in the LIFO and FIFO methods. So before I continue this new topic, I would take up this new topic, or continued with this topic in the next session, that is next counseling session, so that you can clearly understood, as the time is going to over of today's session. So we will continue in the next session of these practical questions. So if you look up, that is FIFO and LIFO method, then again we will put up another questions here. See, and again is another question, that is LIFO FIFO, do it at home. The answer has been prescribed. Again, LIFO FIFO, because most of the question will be asked in LIFO FIFO only, right? So this is the assignment question. Then again, we take up the weighted method, that is how to calculate the simple average, how to calculate the you can see the closing stock, or using the simple average method and weighted average method. So we will consider these all of the topics, all of the questions in the next session. And what is the meaning of weighted average method, what is the meaning of the simple average method, what is the meaning of the LIFO, what is the meaning of the FIFO, we will also get to learn in the next session only, not in this session. So if you have any questions, if you like to ask related any questions related to your program, you just ask me now. A few minutes left to get over this session. So if you have any questions, please ask. You're most welcome to ask any questions related to this topics which has been taught in today's session, and as well as related to your program. If you have any questions. Yes, do you have any question?
No, actually, I don't have any question. But if we do the assignment, how are we going to submit it?
You can submit through online. There is a portals which has been you can ask from the regional center in which portal, that is Vigyan, you can see portal where you can submit the assignments online.
Okay, thank you.
I can share you the link on the WhatsApp group. If you are in the WhatsApp group, you will get to know the link about it, like where to
I am
submit
in
your
the WhatsApp.
assignments. So you are in the group, WhatsApp group.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'll share you the link in the WhatsApp group. So on there, once you make up or prepare your all assignments, you can submit on that link, right?
Okay, thank you.
Most welcome. Any other question you would like to ask or anything?
No, there's no question actually.
Okay, so have you understood? Because I have seen that you are coming in, letting in the session or out of the session, getting out of the session. Is that true due to the network issue?
That's my network problem, but it's okay now.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you just gone through whatever the topics has been taught, and I will share you the particular notes in the group itself, so you can well understood about it. So if you have any doubts related to the topics which has been shared in the group, so just let me know in the WhatsApp group, or you can connect or ask your queries on WhatsApp as well, right?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. So what we can this today's session, this is, oh, the today's session is over now. So we can come up with more new topics, new more important topics in the next session. Practical questions will be also being considered in the next session, and of course the cost sheet topic is also left. We will consider in the next session as well. It's not a very large topic or a big topic. It's a very small topic, right? So we will consider all of these new topics in the next session. So we'll see you in the next session now, and I have to close or wind up today's session. So if you have any queries, just connect on WhatsApp. I can sort it out your all queries on the WhatsApp as well, right? So till then, just have a great day, good day, and of course, good night. Because in India, it's night here, right? All right.
In
Take
Nigeria,
care.
it's sleeping.
Bye.
Thank you.